How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to make a quick video on using a controller for Escape from Tarkov. I pretty much have every major key mapped out on here. I'll get into the special keybinds and functions and stuff like that. But this is just a run through right here. I have L1 as my right mouse click, and then R1 as my left mouse click. Anytime I ADS, it's going to activate gyro on the DualShock 5 controller that I'm using, which is extremely key because you need gyro in order to keep up with PC players. They're super precise. Anytime I need to line up a shot, I can do that with gyro. Or if I need to flip around, you're probably not going to keep up with someone who's got a giant desk and, with so whatever 1,000 DPI or whatever, but you weren't going to keep up with them whether you were using a controller or a mouse or not anyway. But anyway, every time I mention that I'm using a controller, everybody is like super surprised by it. So I just kind of wanted to make a video about it. A lot of this is reliant on you putting multi-functions on the controller, such as double tapping or holding, and then also these key functions that I'm about to run through on Tarkov, which is assigning your 4 and 5 slots to a press and release and make them the same key. As you can see here, slot 4 and slot 5 are both 4 on a press and release. That allows me to add 2 med items to the same D-pad or to the same button, freeing up my D-pad. The other one is your weapon on sling and then weapon on back. You want to make same thing, make it the same key, and then make it press and release. So anytime you press that key, it's going to swap your first weapon or your main weapon, and that right there is going to allow you to, if you're using this layout, is going to free up your D-pad. If you didn't have it that way, you would have to assign the buttons differently. And this is just what works for me. You can take this and modify it to however works for you. Like, for example, holding X is going to inspect the magazine. The next thing you're going to need to do as well is make inspect weapon and clear malfunction. Again, the same key, press and release. And then so that's going to allow you to have 2 functions on one button. And just with these 3, you're basically freeing up 6 buttons on the controller. Again, this is going to be making check weapon and clear malfunction, same button, and a press and release fashion. So that way, all you have to do is just hold the button. It's going to inspect it, and then whenever you're done, it's going to clear the malfunction. With this triple kill that I add in here, I run the whole gambit of clearing a malfunction, switching a weapon. I kind of panic a little bit because it's the first time I've been like ganged up on like that, but I was able to kind of get through the engagement and then kind of come out on top. I was even able to extract, which I was super happy about. I play a lot of DayZ, and this is kind of where I had first started figuring this layout. It actually took me like 2 weeks of just refinement to try and really get comfortable with the layout and get a solid feel for it. Again, like I said, like I even have it on here to where if I hold my finger on the touchpad, I can play dead because the touchpad alone allows you, 2, 4, 6 or 2, 4, 5 functions, and that's not even getting into the double tap, long tap, stuff like this. Like I can line this shot up pretty easily with the controller. That actually took kind of a long time, but you kind of get the idea. I'm able to kind of whip around. Up here, I'm gonna just kind of do some little demonstrations of doing more like a 120, not so much a 180 because you don't flip around completely. But with the gyro, you are able to flip around pretty good. I was going to say the touchpad. So you have a left and right touch and then a left and right click, and then you have just the button as a whole as a touch or click. So that the touchpad alone gives you several buttons. But like right here, I'm trying to show like how you can kind of whip around a little bit. That's not too fast, but of course, like you can adjust the sensitivity and do it to your liking. For me, this is just kind of what works. I typically play on low sensitivity. Otherwise, I'm whipping around all over the place. Right up here, I'm just gonna try and demonstrate just the healing thing. It's not really gonna work here because I'm in an offline match and I'm not hurt, so I can't heal myself. But the general idea is you want to have like a med kit and then a bandage. and then you're going to be able to heal yourself with. You're going to be able to have 2 healing items on 1 slot, and that's with the press and release slot 4 and 5. But I think this is a pretty solid layout. Could it use some refinement? Maybe. I've only put about 60 hours into Tarkov right now, so I'm sure at the 100-hour mark, I may have maybe a different story. But for right now, this is pretty solid. The only thing I've had to change up is I used to have touching the touchpad would activate the weapon accessory, so flashlight, laser, etc. But I found that was getting me killed whenever I would also use the touchpad to press Alt and look around. I got myself killed because I inadvertently turned on my flashlight and basically alerted a PMC to my position when what I was really trying to do was just turn my head, and that was a problem. And like I said, I'm gonna put the controller layout on the screen here in a minute. And you'll kind of get to see how confusing this really looks. I mean, it looks atrocious. I'm the kind of person where I typically like to change my controller scheme around. I don't like using a default scheme. For one, I hate aiming with L2 and aiming with left trigger and firing with right trigger. I feel like it's so tedious. Unless I'm playing a single player game, I do not want to be pulling a trigger whenever I'm trying to shoot. To me, it's just so ineffective. If I have a pistol, what am I going to be faster at pulling? A button or a trigger? For me personally, I think I'm going to be able to press a button way quicker than I'm going to be able to pull a trigger. And that's just me. I have see, like, this is me just I don't know what this looks like in third person, but this is just, even on a controller, I'm able to lay down, lean, press Alt, look around. Whenever I'm leaning, that's activating gyro, so I'm able to move my head using the gyro whenever I'm pressing Alt like that, and it's super, super convenient. But yeah, here I'm gonna go ahead and this is just like, I'm just showing like where if I double tap the touchpad, I can turn on the flashlight, and then just other functions such as looking to the left, looking to the right while I'm playing. I typically, like, when I'm doing this, I play claw, so I'll have my middle finger on maybe the left bumper, right bumper, and then my index fingers on the face buttons, and then that's gonna allow me to kind of move, shoot, aim, everything that I need to do. This could probably go super crazy if I had a controller with paddles on it, because then at that point I would have a bunch of other buttons to assign. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the actual controller layout, and then we'll get into that. Alright, and here we are at the controller. So right here, as you can see, it starts out pretty simple. You have L1 right mouse click, R1 left mouse click, L2Q, R2E. I don't use the speaker key, Y and N, just because my VoIP is down on the D-pad. I hold that and it activates K. The only thing that looks wrong here, and it's not even wrong, but it says triangle is a flashlight. Which my weapon accessory is tapping the touchpad twice. But triangle is the jump key. X, that's not what I use to jump. I don't know why it says that. But if I hold it, that inspects the magazine. Double tap circle is the U key. Holding circle is the U key. Double tapping it is ready grenade. And so this is pretty much most of this looks about right. These face buttons over here, like I said, don't look exactly right because X is not the button I use to jump. It's triangle. But outside of that, this is pretty much the layout. It requires a combination of adding multi-functions to the controller buttons, and then also the 3 press and release keys that you probably want to have activated on Tarkov anyway, even if you're not using a controller. It just adds for ease of life, and that's making slot 4 and 5 a press and release function and put them as the same keys. That is making inspect weapon and clear jam a press and release function with the same keys, as well as weapon on back and weapon on sling, same button, press and release function. And that's going to allow you to basically make all three of those things work with one key on a press and release. Super, super convenient. Not even if you're just using a controller, just if you're a Tarkov sweat. I'm really a DayZ sweat, and I just got into Tarkov recently because it's like DayZ but streamlined. And I think it's fucking fantastic. So, and then right here, I'm just going to kind of run through this little triple kill I got. I have headphones on, so obviously I'll kind of shut up. You can hear him a little bit. I don't know what that guy was trying to do. He had a melee weapon on him. But right here, holding square came super in handy with that press and release function. Was able to clear the jam, get right back in the fight. I can hear this guy struggling up here. I heard him throw that flashbang down. Or whatever that was. But see, you could hear him struggling up there, and at a certain point, I heard him try to open up something, and I knew that was kind of my time to kind of rush in. But right here, I ended up extracting, with this, and man, dude, I was over the moon about it. Super happy. This is like my proudest Tarkov moment, and it was all while using a controller. But anyway, holler at you guys in the next one. Thank you. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it, and peace out. Please subscribe. I'm trying to really grow this channel.